Your usage meter jumps to 100%. That sounds generous. Until a moving deadline erases capacity you already paid for. Imagine opening Codex and seeing that you still have 80% of your weekly usage left. Then, without asking, the meter jumps back to 100%. That looks like a gift. But the next reset date also moves 7 days into the future, and the 80% you save does not roll over. Now do the math. Under one very ordinary work schedule, that 100% can leave you with less usable capacity than the 80% you had before. In this video, I will show you the exact calculation, compare it with Claude's published fixed weekly reset, and explain what evidence a paying user should save before asking for a credit, filing a consumer complaint, or speaking to a lawyer. This is not an abstract complaint for me. My work is uneven. Some days I am recording videos for other channels. Some days I am at work. Then I may have 4 or 5 days when I want Codex running hard, researching, scripting, building illustrations, generating narration, and rendering a video. So if I have 80% left on Wednesday and expect a reset on Sunday, I may deliberately save that capacity. The unused percentage is not proof that I do not need it. It may mean I am scheduling it. That is the first mistake a quota system can make, treating inactivity as if it were abandonment. A weekly allowance is valuable partly because the customer can choose when during the week to use it. If the system changes the clock after the customer has planned around it, the percentage alone does not tell the truth. Here is the simple example. It is Wednesday. The account shows 80% remaining. The expected weekly reset is Sunday. Under a fixed Sunday reset, the user could spend that 80% between Wednesday and Sunday. On Sunday, a new 100% arrives. By the following Wednesday, the maximum capacity available across that window is 180% of one weekly allowance. Now use the moving reset version. On Wednesday, the existing 80% is replaced by a fresh 100%. But the next reset also moves from Sunday to the following Wednesday. Before that Wednesday arrives, the user has only 100% available. Fixed clock up to 180%. Moving replacement 100%. Potential difference 80 percentage points. This does not mean every user loses 80% in real life. If you would never have used the saved capacity, your practical loss may be 0. And if you are already close to 0, an early reset could be genuinely helpful. But if you saved a large balance for concentrated work, the friendly-looking reset can erase exactly what you were saving. The key question is not, did the meter increase? The key question is, how much capacity could I use over the same period before and after the reset? This is where Claude provides a useful comparison. Anthropic's current help page for Claude Pro says that weekly limits reset at a fixed time assigned to the account. It says the reset day and time stay the same regardless of when you start using Claude or when your subscription begins, and that you receive the full weekly allowance each cycle. That wording matters. A fixed clock lets a customer plan. If Claude adds or restores capacity on Wednesday, while the normal reset remains Sunday, the added capacity does not silently buy Anthropic 3 more days before the next cycle. I'm not claiming that Claude gives every user 200% every week. It does not promise that. The point is narrower. Anthropic publicly describes a fixed weekly reset anchor. That makes the effect of any extra capacity easier to understand. OpenAI's current Codex pricing page says ChatGPT work and Codex share usage. It describes Plus as enough for a few focused coding sessions each week, and says the Pro tiers provide 5 or 20 times more Codex usage than Plus. But the public pricing page I could find does not answer the question at the center of this video. If an account is restored to 100% early, is that a bonus added to the customer's allowance, or a replacement that deletes the unused balance? And can that event move the next weekly reset date? That missing explanation does not prove bad intent. Quota systems can use rolling windows, temporary promotions, account adjustments, or changing model weights. A display may simplify a much more complicated calculation, but complexity is not a defense against clarity. If a paying customer sees a percentage and a reset date, those numbers should be reliable enough to plan work. If a change helps the company by extending the clock while deleting the customer's saved capacity, it should not be presented only as a cheerful return to 100%. The strongest defense of Codex is obvious. Nobody has been charged an extra $1 when the meter jumps to 100. The user still receives service, and an early refill may rescue someone who is about to hit 0. That is fair. I use Codex because it can do useful work, and I am not asking the system to refuse extra capacity. I am asking for two basic things. Do not erase a saved balance without making that clear, and do not move the expected reset date without explaining the trade. A genuine bonus should add value. A replacement should be labeled as a replacement. If the interface had simply said, "We have started a new 7-day cycle now. Your previous balance will expire, and your next reset will move," the customer could decide whether that arrangement is acceptable. The problem is the gap between what 100% feels like and what the timeline may actually deliver. If you value practical AI coverage that checks the numbers instead of repeating the marketing, subscribe to Martin Makes Sense of AI. The goal is to understand the deal we accept when we depend on useful tools. So, should users sue OpenAI? One changing meter is not enough for me to tell strangers to file a lawsuit. We would need to know what the subscription promised, whether the same pattern affected many paying users, whether the mechanism was disclosed, and whether people suffered a measurable loss. Courts and consumer law specialists, not a YouTube thumbnail, decide whether conduct is misleading or unlawful. But do not sue today does not mean do nothing. It means build the evidence properly. First, capture the screen before and after any change. Include the percentage, the next reset date, the local date and time, and the plan name. Do not expose payment details. Second, write down the calculation for the same comparison window. How much capacity could you have used under the original date? How much is available after the date moves? Keep that difference separate from any money you claim to have lost. Third, contact OpenAI and ask 4 precise questions. Was the new 100% a bonus or a replacement? What happened to the unused balance? Why did the reset date move? Where was that rule disclosed when the subscription was purchased? Ask for the original reset date or an equivalent usage credit if capacity was removed. Fourth, if the answer does not resolve the issue, use the consumer process in your country. In Australia, the ACCC says online businesses must not make false or misleading claims, and consumers should keep electronic records. The ACCC accepts reports that help it identify widespread harm, although it does not resolve individual disputes or give individual legal advice. State consumer agencies and a qualified lawyer can help with the individual path. If many subscribers can produce the same dated evidence and the same calculation, that is the point to ask a consumer law firm whether coordinated or representative action is justified. A lawsuit should result from good evidence, not substitute for it. This story matters beyond Codex and Claude. AI subscriptions are selling a new kind of expiring inventory. It is not a box of messages. It is access to work capacity during a period of time. When that capacity becomes central to a creator or a small business, reset rules shape real schedules. A vague meter can make a person delay a project, rush a deadline, buy a higher plan, or abandon capacity they already paid to access. That is why the honest unit is not just percent remaining. It is percent remaining. Until what date, under what reset rule, with what happens to the old balance. I would like every AI company to publish 4 facts in plain language: fixed window or rolling window, bonus or replacement, rollover or expiry, and the exact event that changes the next reset date. My verdict is not that Codex has been proven to steal quota. My verdict is that a reset can be mathematically worse for a user, even when the interface moves from 80% to 100, and the current public explanation is not clear enough to rule that concern out. So, take the gift, but check the clock, save the evidence, ask for the rule in writing, and if the same hidden trait appears across many paying accounts, do not dismiss it as a harmless interface detail. That is what Martin Makes Sense of AI is here to do. Bring you one important AI story every day. Separate the evidence from the noise, and explain what it actually means for you. You can also listen to the Martin Makes Sense of AI podcast here on YouTube. Subscribe for the next story, and tell me in the comments. If your meter jumped from 80% to 100, but your reset date moved, would you call it a bonus or a reset trap?